The beauty of sky lies in its ever-changing shades of blue.
Hi everyone, in this video we'll go through model question paper problems. We will go through how each of the problem is solved.
If you want a video without any explanation, just the solutions, then I'll be uploading another video which will only have solutions without any explanation. So before we go through the model question paper, I would like to tell you the playlists that are there in the channel which could help you in your preparations. There are several playlists. You have a playlist which contains all blueprints and model question papers of multiple subjects for both first PUC and second PUC. Then you have integral calculus playlist, application of derivatives, differential calculus. Then you have one playlist which contains only formulas, which could be useful for you to memorize the formulas and refresh it before the exams. Then you have ratio and proportions. You have a complete playlist on partial fractions, matrices and determinants. Then you also have few tips and tricks videos. Certain chapters you could probably use tips and tricks to remember. Then you have playlist for heights and distances. You have permutations and combinations playlist. You have linear programming. You have multiple problems solved from LPP year. You have mathematical logic playlist, binomial theorem. And then you have a playlist which has all previous year's question papers, midterm papers, preparatory papers, and so on. And then also you have important questions, scoring package, important 3 markers, 2 markers, 1 markers, MCQs. All of these are there in this particular playlist. Then you have playlist on limits and continuity, parabola. You have a playlist on compound angles, multiple angles. Then you have a playlist on circles also, which is a one-shot video. And then you have one playlist on all revisions, all one-shot videos, which can help you in revising the chapters before exams. In the revision playlist, you have multiple videos. You have LPP revision, parabola, limits and continuity, matrices and determinants, properties of determinants, partial fractions, binomial theorem, circles, equation of circle. Multiple problems related to equation of circle are solved here. Then you have probability, permutations and combinations, ratio proportion, definite integrals, limits theorem, how to derive limits theorem, proof of limits theorem. And then you have all the formulas here. Formulas are there for matrices and determinants, circles, permutations, parabola, compound angles, limits and continuity. You can refer all of these videos for your preparation.
So the first one is part A, where you have to choose the correct answer, right? So first one is matrices related problem. If A is equal to this particular matrix and B is equal to this particular matrix, then find the value of A plus B. Find the value of A plus B, which is straightforward. You have to add each element of the matrix, right? So 1 with 3, 2 with minus 4, 4 with minus 1. So you add each element, the corresponding elements in the matrix, and then you get the answer. 1 plus 3, 2 minus 4, 4 minus 1, then minus 1 plus 1, 3 with 5, minus 2 with minus 2. So you add all of this and you get this as the answer. Option B. Second one, if P of A complement is equal to 0.63, then the value of P of A, this is nothing but probability. Probability of A complement is 0.63. Then find the value of probability of A. So the formula to find the complement of probability of A is 1 minus probability of A. Use this particular formula. 1 minus 0.63 will give you 0.37, which is the answer. Option D is the answer. Third one, find the fourth proportional of 4, 5, 24. Fourth proportional means you have to find the fourth value in proportion. So you write 4, 5, 4, 5, 24, and you have to find this fourth proportional. So we know in proportion, product of means is equal to product of extremes. So this is means the middle two terms. The middle two terms is called as means, and the last terms are called as extremes. So which means 4 into x, you multiply this, 4 into x is equal to 5 into 24. So now you find the value of x. Here it is 30. Option A. Fourth one, if sin A is equal to 3 by 5, then the value of cos 2a. So cos 2a has 4 formulas. We'll have to remember this. Cos 2a is equal to cos square a minus sin square a. Also, cos 2a is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square a. This is using sin. And you can also write cos 2a using cos a, which is 2 cos square a minus 1. And cos 2a can also be written in the form of tan, using tan. 1 minus tan square a by 1 plus tan square a. So now we have to find the value of cos 2a, and sin a value is given. So we will have to use the second formula because we know the value of sin a, which is given in the question. So we'll have to use this particular formula. Substitute the value of sin a, which is 3 by 5, and then you calculate, you will get cos 2a is 7 by 25. So option A. The fifth problem, find the value of limit x tending to 1. The expression is x square plus 4 by 1 plus x. So first thing, you'll have to substitute, right? You'll have to substitute the value of x. What is the value of x? X is equal to 1, right? This value we'll have to substitute. So we'll substitute here x is equal to 1. So it will be 1 square plus 4 by 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1. So you get 5 by 2 as the answer, which is option A. Now we'll go to the second main where we have to match the following. So the value of 8 to 7 minus 2. So that means you have to find determinant. How do you find the determinant? So you have to multiply this diagonal, which is 8 into minus 2. Then multiply this diagonal, which is 7 into 2. And then finally subtract them, right? Subtract them. So you get the determinant value as minus 30. So minus 30, option D. Second one is, if NC8 is equal to NC12, then the value of N. So in combinations, there is a formula. If NC8 is equal to NC12, then what is the value of N? You just have to add 8 and 12. 8 plus 12 is 20. That's the value of N. N is equal to 20. So F is the right option for this. Third one, if 5 is to 20 is equal to 3 is to x. Again, product of means is equal to product of extremes. So 5 into x should be equal to 20 into 3. 5 into x should be equal to 20 into 3, which means x is equal to 60 by 5. X is equal to 60 by 5, which is 12. So option B. We'll look at the fourth one. Limit x tending to 0, sin ax by bx is equal to, we'll have to find the value. Sin ax by bx is nothing but, you'll have to use the limits formula. Limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta is 1, right? We know this. This is a theorem. Sin theta by theta is equal to 1. Here you have ax by bx. So what we can do is, we have to get it to this particular form, right? So here you have sin ax. So in the denominator also you should have ax. So like this, if sin ax by ax, if you have ax in the denominator, then you can use this formula, sin theta by theta is equal to 1. So now, how do I put a here in the denominator? You multiply and divide numerator and denominator by a, right? If you multiply numerator by a and denominator by a, then you will get ax in the denominator. So now you have sin ax by ax, which is nothing but 1. So this entire portion becomes 1, right? This entire portion becomes 1. So you'll get 1 here. Then you have a and then you have b. So a by b into 1 is a by b. So this is option A. The fifth one, if s is equal to this particular expression, then what is the initial velocity? Initial velocity means what? Initial velocity is when time is equal to 0. That is initial velocity or starting velocity, right? So when you're starting, what is the time? Time will always be 0 when you're starting, right? So time is equal to 0. That is t is equal to 0. So what you do, first of all, what is velocity formula? Velocity is speed by time, right? Velocity is speed by time. This is the formula, right? Now what is speed? You'll have to put rate of change of speed with respect to time. So rate of change of speed with respect to time, which is nothing but ds by dt. So you have to differentiate the speed, right, with respect to time. So when you differentiate this expression, differentiate speed, what you will get? What is derivative of t cube? Take this power, copy it like this and put t and reduce 1 from this. So it will become 2, 3t square. So derivative of t cube is equal to 3t square. So it's 3t square here. Then what is derivative of 6t square? 6t square. So copy the number as is. instead of t square, you put 2 as is, and then t, reduce 1 from the power, so it will be 1. So it is 12t. So you have 12t. You have minus here, so you put minus here, minus 12t. And what is derivative of 90? 90 is nothing but 9. Derivative of t is 1. How? Simple. You have no power, so assume it is 1. Right? So just copy the number as is. What is derivative of t? It is actually 1. How? So how is it 1? You copy the power as is. Then you copy t and reduce 1 from the power. 1 minus 1 will become 0. Anything to the power 0 is 1. So it will be 9 into 1. Anything to the power 0 is 1, which is nothing but 9. So 9 is the derivative of 9t. So basically derivative of t is 1. So if you notice here, powers will reduce. When you take the derivative, the power will reduce by 1. Here it is t cube, it will become t square. Here it is t square, it will become t. Here there is only 1 t, so you will not have any t here. So if you notice, 1 t will reduce. The power will reduce by 1. Now you have the velocity. Now you substitute t is equal to 0. Because it's told as initial velocity, so you have to put t is equal to 0. Substitute t is equal to 0 here. And then you'll get velocity is 9. So option E. Now we'll solve fill in the blanks. For question number 7 to 11, choose the appropriate answer from the answers given below. So these are the answers, right? The first one is the number of arrangements. This is related to permutations and combinations. The number of arrangements that can be made with the letters of word Monday. Always to find the total number of arrangements, you have to know the number of letters. What is the number of letters? 6 here, right? 6 letters means 6 factorial. Now assume instead of Monday you had something like this, right? Assume that you had Monday. You had 2 n's. In that case, what you have to do? How many letters are there here? 7. So you'll put 7 factorial. How many repeated letters? 2 repeated letters. So you'll divide by 2 factorial, right? So if you have repeated letters, you have to put the repetitions in the denominator. But here there is no repetition, so it is just 6 factorial. And when you expand 6 factorial, you'll get 720 as the answer. What is 6 factorial? 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So when you multiply all this, you'll get 720. So you have 720 here. Second one, the number of 10 different precious stones is set to form a necklace. So you'll have to find the permutations, right? Find the number of permutations when you have 10 different precious stones which is used to form a necklace. So you have a necklace and you have 10 different stones, right? Now, how many number of ways you can form this necklace, right? You can keep this stone anywhere, right? You can put first stone here, second stone here. So you have multiple arrangements. You can shift these stones in any position, right? You can put these stones in any position, right? Now, what is a necklace? Necklace is a circle, right? Necklace is a circle. So nothing but circular permutation. What is the formula for circular permutation? It is n minus 1 factorial by 2. Now, whenever you have similar stones, right, or similar beads or flowers, it's similar. So whenever it is similar, you cannot distinguish whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise, right? You cannot say which bead is in clockwise, which bead is in anti-clockwise, because if I rotate the necklace, the entire positioning will change. But in case it's people, right? People seated in a table, in a round table, right? When people are seated in a round table, you can distinguish, you can tell who is sitting in the clockwise direction and who is sitting in the anti-clockwise direction, because we can recognize people, we can identify people, right? But in a necklace, you cannot identify the stone. Every stone will look same, right? You cannot identify. But in terms of people, you can identify. So in this case, it will be n minus 1 factorial. There will be no divide by 2. So now what is n here? N is equal to 10. So 10 minus 1 factorial by 2, which is 9 factorial by 2. The value is 1,81,440. Now, next one. There are 4 routes to go from A to B. So you assume A to B, there are 4 routes. You have 4 routes to go. And 3 routes from B to C. Right? 3 routes from B to C. Then the number of ways to go from A to C. So how many ways are there to go from A to C via B? Through B, how many routes are there or how many ways are there to go from A to C? Simple. A to B is 4, B to C is 3. Just multiply. 4 into 3, which is equal to 12. So there are 12 routes. Here you can take this route with this route with this route. It's like this. Say first route, right? Then you can, let's take 4 routes here, right? You can take this route with this with this with this with this. So 4 ways. Now you have 3 routes here, right, from B to C. Again, this 4 routes with this, all these 4 routes with this, right? So you'll have 4 into 3. 10th one. Now this is mathematical logic related problem.
There is a playlist on mathematical logic. You can refer the playlist for more details.
The negation of this particular expression. What is negation? You have to take the entire expression and put negation like this. P or R conditional Q. Now you have to put negation. You have to negate this entire expression. So whenever there is negation, easiest way is when you have conditional. This is conditional. This is conditional operator. So this conditional will become and. Basically it will become conjunction. So this will become and. The conditional will change to and. This will become and Q will become not Q. It will become not Q. And this will remain as is. The first proposition will remain as is. P or R and not Q. So P or R and not Q. Suppose you have this particular expression and you have to negate this like this. Then it will be P, instead of conditional you will put and instead of Q you will put not Q. This P will remain as is. This conditional will become not, and instead of Q it will become not Q. The next one. The sum or difference of trigonometric functions of cos 4a into sin 2a is. Now you will have to remember all the transformation formula here, right? So you will have to mug up this. This is similar to cos a sin b. Cos a sin b is half of sin a plus b minus sin a minus b, right? So you substitute a as 4a, right? 4a, and instead of b you put 2a. So 4a plus 2a, and here it is 4a minus 2a, right? So we have to mug up this formula. Now let's look at the fourth main. Answer the following questions. Find the value of tan 75. So you have to split 75 with the known trigonometric ratios, right? Tan 45, tan 30. Use the known ones. Known ones are 30, 45, 90, 60 and 180. These trigonometric identities we should mug up. 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, 180 degrees. And whenever you split such numbers, you have to do it in the form of known identities. So 75 can be split as 45 and 30. 45 and 30 is 75. So you can write it as tan 45 plus 30. Now you'll have to use tan a plus b formula. What is tan a plus b? Tan a plus tan b by 1 minus tan a into tan b. So instead of a you put 45, instead of b you put 30. Right? Now you remember the values of tan 45. Tan 45 is 1. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Right? Now substitute all of this and you will get this as the answer, 3.73. Next one. If xyz is equal to 2 matrices are given, find x, y and z. So here you have to multiply these 2 matrices first. Right? First multiply. So 1 into 1 plus 0 into 1 plus minus 1 into 1. right? Then you add all of this and you get the first value. So first of all, you should know what would be the order of the matrix, right? This is 3 by 3, 3 rows and 3 columns. This is 3 rows and 1 column, 3 by 1. The order of the matrix when you multiply should be 3 from here and 1 from here. You have to take 3 from the first matrix and 1 from the second matrix. Basically, row count from the first matrix and column count from second matrix. Column count is 1, row count is 3. So it will be 3 by 1. So the order of this particular matrix would be 3 by 1. So there could be cases where you will get confused. You will not know if the matrix should be 3 by 3 or 1 by 3, right? There can always be confusion. So in case you get confused, you have to use this row count of the first matrix, column count of the second matrix, and that will become the order of the final matrix. So you'll have 3 rows and 1 column. 3 rows, right, and 1 column. So after multiplying, you'll get this as a matrix. Then you have to equate x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, z is equal to minus 1. Z is equal to minus 1. Now, next one. Write the triplicate ratio of 3 is to 5. Simple. Triplicate ratio is cube. 3 cube, 5 cube. Triplicate ratio is cube. Right? So, you get 3 cube, 5 cube. 15th one. Find the value of integral of 2x into x square plus 3 the whole square dx. Now, if you clearly notice, this 2x is the derivative of this. When you differentiate this portion, what is derivative of x square? Derivative of x square is take the power 2, copy x, and from the power you reduce 1, 2 minus 1. So derivative of x square is 2x and derivative of 3 is 0. So if you differentiate x square plus 3, you will get 2x as the derivative. So basically you assume that x square plus 3 is t. Then you differentiate dt with respect to x. So when you differentiate this, you'll get 2x. Now what is dt? Just take 2x on the other side. So you'll get 2x into dx. dt is equal to 2x into dx. You take dx on this side. Now if you notice, you have 2x and dx here. 2x and dx. So instead of 2x and dx, you put dt. Right? Here. Instead of 2x dx, you put dt. And instead of this x square plus 3, you will put t here. It is t square because you have square here. So t square. Right? So instead of 2x dx, I put dt. Instead of x square plus 3, I put t. And this square, I just copied. So it's nothing but integral of t square dt. What is integral of t square? Just increment the power. T would become 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1. So integral of t square is equal to t to the power 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1, which is t cube by 3. So integral of t square is t cube by 3, and then let's not forget to put this constant plus c. Now finally, what is t? You have to substitute. T is x square plus 3. So substitute the value of t, which is x square plus 3 here, whole cube by 3. So this is the integral of this particular expression. Now next problem. Evaluate this particular expression, integral, right? How we can do is we can split this. We can write e to the power x by e to the power x plus 1 by e to the power x. You can split this denominator like this. E to the power x by e to the power x, 1 by e to the power x. So e to the power x by e to the power x plus 1 by e to the power x and then dx. Now what? So if this will get cancelled and this will become 1, right? This will get cancelled. So you'll be left with 1, and you can write 1 by e to the power x as e to the power minus x. 1 by e to the power x can be written as e to the power minus x. You can take this on top, and here you have plus x, it will become minus x. The sign will reverse. So now I'll find integral. Integral of 1 is x. Integral of 1 is x. So I have x. Integral of e to the power minus x is e to the power minus x itself. You have to divide by the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x. What is coefficient of x? It is minus 1. Right? minus is there, right? Which means it's minus 1. So you divide by coefficient of x, which is minus 1. So now you simplify. This is nothing but x minus e to the power minus x. This minus, you bring it here. So it's minus e to the power minus x. Now you apply these limits. So substitute first with 1 upper limit. Instead of x you put 1. 1 minus e to the power. Instead of x I am putting 1. Right? So I have e to the power minus 1. Here now I am doing the same thing with 0, lower limit. Instead of x I am putting 0. So I will get e to the power minus 0. Now e to the power minus 1 is e to the power minus 1 itself. Minus and minus is plus. Anything to the power 0 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. I can write e to the power minus 1 as 1 by e. I can get this to the denominator and reverse the sign. Minus 1 will become plus 1. 1 by e to the power 1. So 2 minus 1 by e. Again I can find the LCM. What is the LCM for this? LCM is e. So this will go e times, this will go 1 time. 1 into e is e into 1 is e. So I multiply this e with numerator and this 1 with numerator. So 2 into e minus 1.
Let's look at part B questions. Answer any 6 of the following questions. First one is, in how many ways can 6 people be chosen out of 10 people if one particular person is always included? Since the word chosen is there, chosen means you'll have to use combinations. You'll have to use combinations, right? You can refer permutations and combinations playlist for more details. From 10 people, you have to choose 6 people. So it's nothing but 10 C 6. But they've told one particular person is always included. That means one person is already been selected, right? One person is already selected. So now how many people need to be selected? One person is selected. So remaining is 5 people. So out of 10 people, one person is selected. So what is remaining? 9 people. So out of 9 people, 5 needs to be selected. So it's going to be 9C5, right? So what is NCR formula? N factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial, which is nothing but you have 9C5. So it will be 9 factorial by 5 factorial into 9 minus 5 factorial. So you work this out and you'll get 126 ways. 126 ways you can choose 5 people out of 9 people. Next one. Find the number of triangles that can be formed out of 20 points. Out of 20 points in which 8 are collinear. So 20 points. So you have, right, you can say there are 20 points in the space, right? Somewhere you have 20 points like this. Out of these 20 points, there are 8 points which are collinear. Collinear means in the same line. So you have like this. You have 8 points in the same line. Now, to form a triangle, you need to have 3 points in different angles, right? In different angles, you should have 3 points. If points are in the same line, you can't form a triangle. Can you form a triangle with dots like this? No. That's why here we'll have to use this particular formula. NC3 minus KC3. K is nothing but collinear points. We have 8 collinear points. And N is total number of points. N is total number of points, which is 20. 20. So now you substitute this, right? It will become 20C3 minus 8C3. Solve this and then you'll get 1084 triangles, 1084 triangles. Now remember why we are subtracting this is because 8 collinear points. Within this 8 collinear points, you can't form triangles. That's why you're subtracting 8C3. Okay, but still you have remaining points, right? Out of 20, 8 are collinear. So what is the remaining? You have 12 points. You still have 12 points which are in different angles. So using these 12 points and using these 8 points, you can form triangles, right? So you have 12 points somewhere here and you have this 8 points which are collinear. Using these points, you can still form triangles like this, right? Take this point and form triangle like this. So that's why we are taking 20C3 and subtracting with KC3. Next one. From a well shuffled pack of 52 cards, one card is drawn at random. Find the probability of getting either a king or a queen card. Now, when you have 52 cards, you need to get a king or queen. How many kings are there in 52 cards? 4 kings. How many queens are there? 4 queens. 4 queens. So you should either get 4 kings or 4 queens. So what is the total possibility? 4 plus 4, which is 8. Now, what is the formula for getting probability? Number of favorable outcomes or number of possible outcomes by total outcomes. So what is the total number of possible outcomes? It is 8. So possible outcomes is 8. And what is the total outcomes? Total outcomes is 52 cards. So if you're picking one card, then there are 52 possibilities because there are 52 cards. So you have 8 by 52. So when you simplify, you will get 2 by 13. Let's look at the next problem. Three numbers are in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4. If the sum of their squares is 1856, find the numbers. So three numbers are in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4, right? So you can assume that the numbers are 2x, 2 times x, 3 times x, 4 times x. Because ratio means it is times, number of times. So 2 means 2 times x, 3 means 3 times x, 4 means 4 times x. Let these be the three numbers. Now sum of their squares. If you take the square of each of these numbers, it's going to be 1856. So it should be square of these numbers because these are the numbers 2x, 3x and 4x. So you take the square of these numbers. When you add them up, you're going to get 1856. Right? Now when you solve, you'll get x square is equal to 64, which means x is equal to plus or minus 8. Right? It can be plus or minus 8. So if x is equal to 8, then the numbers are 2x, 3x and 4x. So 2 times 8, 3 times 8, 4 times 8, which is 16, 24 and 32. So let's look at next problem. If 16 men can construct a house in 90 days, then how many days will 15 men construct the same house? So first you make two sections, men and days. 16 men take 90 days. So in how many days will 15 men construct the same house? So 16 men take 90 days. Now the number of men is reduced. It has become 15. So obviously they're going to take more number of days, right? Because number of men have been reduced. So the number of days they take to construct a house is going to be more, right? Right? Here men are less, therefore days are going to be more. So therefore it is inversely proportional. Why is it inversely proportional? As the men decreases, the days will increase. If you keep decreasing people, then the number of days to construct the house will increase. So therefore it is inversely proportional. One is increasing, other decreases. Or one decreases, the other increases. Right? That's why it's called as inversely proportional. Now, so what you have to do is, normally, if you have to write this in the form of proportion, you write as 16 is to 15 is equal to 90 is to x. You assume that it will take x days, right? We don't know the number of days, so we assume that it is x days, right? Here we assume it's x days. So normally you write in proportion like this: 16 is to 15, 16 is to 15 is equal to 90 is to x, right? But since it is inverse, you reverse this number. You can reverse this or this, not both. You can reverse this. So you can write as 15 is to 16 is equal to 90 is to x, which is nothing but 15 by 16 is equal to 90 by x. So now you need to find the value of x. So you get 15x, you cross multiply. 15x is equal to 90 into 16. Whereas x is equal to 90 into 16 by 50. When you solve, you'll get 96 days as the answer. Next problem. If BD and BG, that is bankers discount and bankers gain, on a certain bill due after some time are rupees 1250 and rupees 50, find the face value of the bill. Right? So BD is given, which is 1250. BG is given, which is 50. You need to find the face value of the bill. So we know the formula. Face value is equal to BD into TD by BG. We know BD, we know BG, we don't know TD. So how do we find TD? We'll have to use another formula. Banker's gain is equal to banker's discount minus true discount, right? Now with this formula, you'll get TD. Now once you get TD, you substitute TD in this particular formula here, and then you'll get the face value, which is rupees 30,000. Now we'll go to next problem. Find the equation of parabola. Vertex is 0, 0. Focus is 0 minus 3. And directrix is y is equal to 3. Now first you should look at focus. Focus is on negative y-axis. This is y, right? This is x, this is y. Negative y-axis, you have the focus, right? This, so negative y-axis, this one, right? This is y-axis, this is x-axis, this is negative y-axis, this is negative x-axis. So on this negative y-axis, you have focus. So the coordinates are 0, minus 3, right? Now, if the focus is here, what kind of parabola it's going to be? The parabola is going to be downward parabola, because if the focus is here, then the parabola is going to be around the focus. The parabola is going to be around the focus. So it's going to be downward parabola. So now you have to remember the equation of downward parabola, right? What is the equation of downward parabola? X square is equal to minus 4ay. This is the equation. See, it's very easy to remember the equation. You can go through parabola playlist. So there are techniques given to remember the parabolas, the parabola characteristics. So downward parabola is x square is equal to minus 4ay. Now remember why it is minus here? Because it is negative y-axis, right? Negative y-axis. This will give you a clue. This will give you a clue that it is downward parabola. See, here focus is on negative side of y, right? So your equation should have minus y. Your equation should have minus y, which means it has to be x square is equal to minus 4ay, right? Because focus is nothing but a, right? How is focus represented? Focus is represented as a, right? So like this, 0 minus a. This is how focus is represented. So focus is on the negative y-axis. Therefore, focus is also negative. Now, what is the value of a? A is 3. Don't put minus 3, okay? A is 3. A is 3. A is not minus 3, right? A is 3. So you put A is 3, and then you'll get x square is equal to minus 12y. Again, I'm repeating, don't put A as minus 3, right? Don't put minus 3 here, because minus is already there in the equation itself. Now, let's look at this problem. Find focus length of lattice rectum of the parabola y square is equal to 16x. They have directly given the equation of parabola. Now, this is nothing but right-handed parabola, right? This is nothing but right-handed parabola. It's on the right-hand side, right? Right-hand side parabola. Y square is equal to 16x. What is the actual equation of right-hand side parabola? Y square is equal to 4x. This is the equation. This is the general form of the equation. Now, here what they've given, y square is equal to 16x. Now, y square and y square is same. X and x is same, which means 4a should be equal to 16, right? Because y square and y square is same. X and x is same. Therefore, 16 should be equal to 4a, right? 4a should be equal to 16, which means a is equal to 4. So now you got the focus. Now, how do you have to write focus? In the form of xy coordinates, right? Focus should be in the form of x and y. So you have a, right? This is right-handed parabola. Means your focus is on the right side. Right-handed parabola, focus in the right side on the positive x-axis, right? So we have got a as 4. So you have to write it as a comma 0, which is 4 comma 0, right? Because parabola is on the right-hand side, focus is on x-axis. So you have to write the x coordinate. This is the focus. This is the focus. Then you have to find length of lattice rectum. So no matter what the parabola is, length of lattice rectum is always 4 times a. 4 times a. So 4 into 4, which is 16. Now next problem. Evaluate integral of 0 to pi by 4 secant square 3x dx. So you have to find the integral of secant square 3x. Now we'll have to remember what is integral of secant square x. Integral of secant square x dx is equal to tan x. This is the integral of secant square x. It's equal to tan x. Now we have, instead of x, we have 3x. So what should we do? We will have to put the coefficient of x. What is coefficient of x? Number next to x. What is the number next to x? 3. Right? So you divide this by 3. Coefficient of x is 3, that is number next to x. Take that number and put it in the denominator. Tan x by 3. Tan x, you have to put 3x, okay? Tan 3x by 3. Tan 3x by 3. Now, you substitute this upper limit and lower limit. So, tan 3 into pi by 4 by 3 minus tan 3 into 0, which is 0, tan 0. Now, tan 3 pi by 4. What is tan 3 pi by 4? 3 pi by 4 is 3 into 180 by 4. Pi, you can write as 180. 3 into 180 by 4 is 135. Okay. Now, how do I find tan 135? You can write it as, you can split it 135 as 180 minus 45. Right? You can write as 180 minus 45. What is tan 180 minus 45? It's minus tan 45. Right? Anytime you have tan 180 minus theta, tan 180 minus theta is equal to minus tan theta. Here, instead of theta, we have 45. Right? So, minus tan 45. What is tan 45? 1. So, minus 1. So, we have minus 1 here. And tan 0 is 0 itself. And you have 1 by 3 here. Right? You have 1 by 3 here. So, answer is minus 1 by 3. Now, let's look at this. Evaluate integral of log x. The limits are 1 to 2. Now, there is no direct integral value of log x. You don't have the integral of log x. So, you assume that there is 1 here into 1. You assume that it is into 1. And you will use integration by parts. You can refer a playlist on integration. Integration by parts is explained in detail. You can go through that video. So, now when you say integration by parts, you have to use the formula. Integral of first function into second function is equal to first function into integral of second function minus integral of derivative of first function into integral of second function. And the entire thing again you have to find integral. So you have to remember this formula, right? Then you take log as the first function, right? You take this as the first function and 1 as second function. Right now, how do you choose which will be the first function and second function? You have to use this order. Late. Late means L is first logarithmic, algebraic, T is trigonometric, and E is exponential. Exponential is anything that has power. Right? So, we have logarithmic, so we'll take logarithmic as first function. And second function would be 1. So, now first function is log x, right? Integral of second function. Integral of second function is 1. Right? Integral of second function is 1. Derivative of first function. What is first function? Log x. So, derivative of log x and integral of second function. Integral of second function is 1. And then you take the whole integral, right? So, integral of 1. Integral of 1 is x, right? Integral of 1 is x. So, log x into x minus, what is derivative of log x? Derivative of log x is 1 by x. Right? And again here you have integral of 1. Integral of 1 is x. So, this x and x will get cancelled. Right? And then you have to find the integral of this entire thing. So, x and x is getting cancelled. So, you're left with 1 here. What is integral of 1? Again x. Right? And here we have x into log x. Now, we have to apply the limits 1 and 2. So, instead of x, you put 2. 2 log 2 minus 2. Right? You finished one section. Then again, take this entire expression. Instead of x, put 1. So, 1 log 1 minus 1 you will get. Now, 2 log 2 minus 2 minus log 1. Minus and minus becomes plus 1. So, you simplify 2 log 2 minus log 1 minus 2 plus 1. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. Log 1 is 0. Remember this. Log 1 is 0. So, your log 1 is becoming 0 here. So, you're left with 2 log 2 minus 1. 2 log 2 minus 1. This is the answer. Now, let's look at the next problem. Find the area enclosed by the curve y is equal to x square plus 2x between the coordinates x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2. Now, you can imagine that these are the coordinates x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2, right? This is x-axis. This is y-axis. So, between this, there is a curve. Between these coordinates, there is a curve, right? And the equation of that curve is y is equal to x square plus 2x. This is the equation. Now, you have to find this area, right? From this curve and the x-axis, you have to find the area. So, what is the way you have to find area? Area is integral of y dy. Now, y is the function. Y is the function. Instead of y, we put x square plus dx. Instead of y, we put x square plus 2x dx, right? Instead of dy, we'll put dx, right? And the coordinates has been given as 0 and 2. So you have to put this upper limit and lower limit, the x coordinate 0 and 2. Now you find the integral separately. Integral of x square is take the power, add 1 and divide by 2 plus 1, right? So x cube by 3. Similarly here, you have integral of 2x's, power is 1, right? So it will be 2, increase the power 1 plus 1, divide by 1 plus 1, which is 2 into x square by 2. So basically you just increment the power and put that same power in the denominator. Increment the power and put the same power in the denominator. Now 2 and 2 will get cancelled. You will get this answer. Now you put x as 2 first, and then here you put x as 0. So you substitute the x values and finally you will get 20 by 3 square units. Don't forget to put the units, square units, right? Because area is always given in square units. So now let's look at part C related questions, right? So 20th question in part C. If A is equal to, basically this matrix is given, you have to show that this particular expression is true. A square minus 4a plus 3i is equal to O. Now I is an identity matrix and this O is a null matrix, zero matrix, right? Identity matrix is, what is identity matrix? Identity matrix is always 1 0 0 1 if it's 2 by 2. And null matrix is matrix with all zeros. This is null matrix. And A, this is the matrix, right, for A. So now you substitute matrix in this particular expression this way. So this is A square is A into A. This is minus 4A plus 3I. This is the identity matrix. Instead of I, you put the identity matrix. And you assume that this is LHS and RHS is null matrix. So you have to prove this entire expression gives you a null matrix. So first we will solve this LHS, right? First we will take the left hand side and solve. So multiply two matrices A into A and then minus 4 into A and 3 into identity matrix. So if you simplify this, you see that finally you will get a zero matrix. Now let's look at this problem. The banker's gain on a bill is 1/9 of the banker's discount. So you have banker's gain, which is 1/9 of banker's discount. Rate of interest being 10%, 10% which is 0.1. Find the unexpired period of the bill. That is, you have to find T, right? So you can choose a formula which has banker's discount and banker's gain, right? So the face value is equal to banker's discount into true discount by banker's gain. So if you substitute BG as 1/9 of BD and keep BD as is, you will get face value is equal to 9 times of true discount. And you also know that true discount is equal to PTR. And PTR can be written as FTR by 1 plus TR, right? F is also equal to 9 times TD. F is equal to 9 times TD. So TD is nothing but FTR by 1 plus TR. So 9 times of FTR by 1 plus TR is equal to F. Now you simplify this, right? You don't know the value of F, you don't know the value of T, but you know the value of R. So you substitute and finally you will get this kind of an equation, right? If you simplify, you're finally going to get T as 1 by 0.8, which is nothing but 5 by 4, which is 1.25 years. So unexpired period is 1.25 years. Now let's look at the stocks and shares problem. Sanjana invests rupees 3240 in a stock at 108 and sells when the price falls to 104. How much stock at 130 can Sanjana buy now? So you have to find how much stock at 130 can Sanjana buy. When you say how much stock, it is stock worth, right? What is the worth of the stock? So you have to find the stock worth. So there are two transactions here, right? First one, Sanjana buys a stock at 108 and then sells. Second transaction is selling, right? And then third transaction is Sanjana again buys the stock at rupees 130. So three transactions: buying, selling, and buying, right? Buying, selling, and buying. So we'll first take the first transaction, which is related to buying. So now the face value of the stock is not given, so we assume that it is 100. Face value and market value. So at Sanjana buys the stock at 108. That is, this is the market value. The face value is 100. And Sanjana invests rupees 3240 in a stock. So this is the cash Sanjana is investing. This is the cash, right? Which is used to buy the stock at 108 rupees. So now what is the stock worth? What is the actual stock worth? Right? The actual stock worth is nothing but 3240 by 108 into 100. 3240 by 108 into 100. So this stock worth is 3000. So basically Sanjana is buying 3000 rupees stock worth at 108. Now second transaction is selling. Now Sanjana sells this 3000 rupees worth stock at 104, right? The price is falling here. It's reducing. So Sanjana is selling at 104. And what was the original price Sanjana bought it at? 108. And what is the stock worth when Sanjana bought it at 108? 3000. This one. This is the stock worth. So what is the new stock worth, right? After selling 104, what is the worth of the stock, right? What is the stock worth? So it's 3000. 3000 by 108 into 104. So the stock worth is 3120. So now let's go to the next transaction. Sanjana is going to buy again at rupees 130 rupees, right? Sanjana is going to buy the stock at 130. So this is the price at which Sanjana is going to buy. Face value we assume it as 100. What is the stock worth? So stock worth is 3120. We put stock worth as 3120 and we find the new stock worth, right? After buying, what is the new stock worth? Which is nothing but 3120 by 130 into 100, which is 2400, right? So Sanjana buys 2400 worth stock at 130. Let's look at this problem. A shopkeeper bought a machine at a discount of 30% on the listed price of rupees 24,000. So basically, shopkeeper is buying a machine whose cost is 24,000, but he's getting a discount of 30%. 30% on what? 30% on the cost of the machine. Cost of the machine is 24,000. So 30% of 24,000. That's the discount. 30% of 24,000. So if you can say marked price is 24,000 rupees or list price and discount is 30%, right? Now, so the actual buying price is marked price minus discount percent of marked price. So 30% of 24,000 and you subtract it from 24,000. So he's buying finally at 16,800 rupees. Since he's getting a discount of 30% on 24,000, obviously the buying price is going to be lesser. So instead of 24,000, he is buying it at 16,800 rupees. Now, what is the VAT on the buying price? He also needs to pay VAT. VAT is 10% here, right? So VAT on the buying price is 10% of this buying price, which is 1680. Now we need to find the amount paid by the customer. Now customer is coming to his shop and buying that machine at a discount of 10%. Now the marked price does not change. He is keeping the list price or marked price as same in the machine for the machine. The machine is still costing 24,000, but to the customer he is giving the machine at a discount of 10%. That means from 24,000 he is going to give a discount and the final price is going to get reduced. So now the selling price, right? The shopkeeper is selling the machine to the customer, right? He's selling to the customer, which is nothing but again marked price minus discount percent of marked price. Marked price is 24,000. 10% of 24,000, you'll get 21,600. Now this is the buying price for the customer. Now he has to pay VAT also on this. VAT is 10%. So let's find what is 10% of this particular price. 10% of 21,600 is 2160. This is VAT. Right? This is VAT. Then what is the total amount What is the total amount paid by customer? It's nothing but selling price plus VAT. Selling price is 21,600. VAT is 2160. So you'll get total buying price of the customer as 23,760. So we know the amount paid by the customer. Now we'll also find VAT to be paid by shopkeeper. Now shopkeeper needs to pay the VAT, right? So the formula is selling price minus cost price into VAT percent. Now the shopkeeper is selling it at 21,600 and cost price is nothing but the price at which he bought it. What is the price at which he bought it? 16,800. He bought it at 16,800 and finally he is selling it at 21,600. What is the difference? The difference is the profit, right? 4,800 is the profit and VAT is charged on the profit. So VAT is 10% of 4,800, which is 480 rupees. Now we look at this 32nd problem. If x is equal to 80 square and y is equal to 280, then find dy by dx. You'll have to use parametric differentiation. Basically, you have x given with respect to t, y given with respect to t. You first differentiate dx with respect to dt, x with respect to t. You first find dx by dt. Here you find dy by dt. So dx by dt is, what is derivative of 80 square? A you assume is a constant, right? Just write a as is. What is derivative of t square? 2t. 2 into t to the power 2 minus 1. 2t. And similarly derivative of 280. So 2a is number. So just copy this. What is derivative of t? Derivative of t is 1. Right? Now you have to find dy by dx. What is dy? Just put the dy by dt in the numerator and put dx by dt in the denominator. Dt and dt will get cancelled. Dt and dt will get cancelled. You will be left with dy by x. So what is dy by dt now? So why are we putting dy by dt by dx by dt? Because dt and dt will get cancelled. You will be left with dy by dx, right? But now instead of dy by dt, we are going to put 2a, and instead of dx by dt, what is the derivative? 2at. 2a and 2 will get cancelled. You are left with 1 by t. So 1 by t is nothing but dy by dx. Now we look at this problem. The volume of a spherical ball is increasing at the rate of 4 pi cc per second. Volume. Find the rate of increase of the radius of the ball when the volume is 288 pi cc. First of all, what is given? Volume of a spherical ball. So volume of a spherical ball. So you assume that volume is V, right? Volume is V. Volume is V is increasing. Whenever you see the term increasing, it means it is dV by dt. dV by dt is equal to, it's increasing at the rate of 4 pi cc per second. Right, this one. dV by dt is equal to 4 pi cc per second. And they've also given rate of increase of the radius of the ball. So assume that radius of the ball is r. Right? Again, rate of increase. Again, you're seeing the word increase. Rate of increase means dr by dt. What is increasing? Radius of the ball. What is increasing? Radius of the ball. So it's dr by dt. Why am I putting dt? Because it's written as second here. Right? Second. What is second? Second is nothing but time. Second is nothing but time, which is nothing but t. So I'm putting dr by dt. Now we'll have to find this. Now first what we will do, we'll have to use the volume of sphere formula. What is the actual volume of sphere? It is nothing but V is equal to 4 by 3. This is the formula. 4 by 3 pi r cube. So volume is always will have cube in it. And the units will be cubic units. So 4 by 3 pi r cube. Right? They've told volume is 288 pi cc. You have to find when the volume is 288 pi cc. So instead of V, you put 288 pi and try to get the value of radius. R is equal to 6. Right? Now we got the value of radius. Now we also know dV by dt. They've given dV by dt. What is dV by dt? If you differentiate this volume, with respect to time, you'll get dV by dt. So dv by dt, differentiate this expression. Differentiate this expression. So you'll get dv by dt is equal to 4 by 3. Keep the number as is. Pi is also a constant. R cube. What is derivative of r cube? 3r square. And you have to put dr by dt. Why? Because you are differentiating r with respect to t. R with respect to t. So you have to put dr by dt. So now, what is dv by dt? It's given as 4 pi cc. So substitute 4 pi here. Then instead of r, you put 6 here. And then you leave dr by dt. This is what we have to find. You have to finally find dr by dt. So you calculate this and finally you will get dr by dt as 1 by 36 centimeter per second. Now let's look at this particular problem. Evaluate integral of 3 by x plus 1 into x plus 2. Basically, you have to use partial fractions here, right? The very look of it itself, you'll know that you have to integrate using partial fractions. So we know how to solve partial fractions, right? You take this particular portion, you write it as a by x plus 1, b by x plus 2. You find the partial fraction, you get this partial fractions, right? Then you integrate it. So once you put it in partial fraction mode, it's easy to integrate. Now 3 by x plus 1. Now what is integral of 1 by x? What is integral of 1 by x? It's log x, right? Now instead of x, you have x plus 1. So it will be log x plus 1. Instead of x, it will be x plus 1, log x plus 1. And 3 is as is. Similarly here, you have x plus 2. So you assume it is 1 here. What is 1 by x plus 2? It's log x plus 2. And 3 is here. So this is the final answer. 3 log of x plus 1 minus 3 log of x plus 2 plus c.
There's a playlist on integral calculus, so you can go through the playlist for more details.
So now let's look at problems from part D. Answer any 5 of the following questions. Solve the linear equations using matrix method. Now you can refer the matrices playlist to understand the entire details on matrix chapter. So here you have 3 equations given. So first what you have to do, you have to create 3 matrices. One matrix will have just x, y, z, and one matrix, which is matrix A, will have all the coefficients. What are the coefficients? Coefficients are nothing but numbers next to x or y or z. So you have 3. Here you have coefficient as 3, 1 and 2. So put 3, 1, 2. Here you have coefficients as 2, minus 3, minus 1. So 2, minus 3, minus 1. And here you have coefficient as 1, 2 and 1. 1, 2 and 1. So you have matrix A. Now what is matrix B? All these constants. Only numbers, right? 3, minus 3, 4. 3, minus 3, 4. So now we have 3 matrices. How do you find x, y, z values? So actually A into x is B. That is, when you multiply matrix A with matrix X, then you will get this matrix B. Right? You can try it out. When you multiply matrix A with matrix X, you will get this matrix B. But I just need to find X. Right? So what will happen? X will become, when I shift A this side, it will become A inverse of B. Now how do I find A inverse? Right? I know matrix B. I need to find matrix X. How do I find A inverse? So A inverse is nothing but adjoint of A by determinant of A. Now we know how to find determinant of A. What is determinant of A? You can take the first row and take the other numbers, right? Leaving the first row, take the other numbers. So it will be 3, first element, 3 into, you take these elements, minus 3 into 1. Then you have to put minus, in between there will be minus, and 2 into minus 1. Minus 3 plus, minus into minus will become plus, so it will become plus 2. Similarly, you take the second element, ignore this row and this column, you are taking the second element. So now what are the leftover elements? 2, minus 1, 1 and 1. So how will you find the determinant? 1, 1 into 2 into 1, which is 2, 1 into minus 1, which is actually minus 1. But in between you have to subtract. So minus 1 you will get, actually you will get minus 1. And then you have to subtract. So minus and minus will become plus. So it will become 2 plus 1. And here you have to alternate the sign. This will be plus, this will be minus, this will be plus. So you will take minus 1, minus 1. Now you have to go to the third element. So ignore the third column and this first row. What are the remaining numbers? 2, minus 3, 1, 2. So now you multiply 2 into 2 and subtract with 1 into minus 3. this way. So you'll get this as the determinant value. Now we'll have to find adjoint. So we got determinant, we have to find adjoint of A. Right? And one more thing you have to check is, since determinant of A, since this determinant is positive number, right? It's not a negative number, it's positive number. Therefore, we can say A inverse exists, right? We'll have to check if A inverse exists. Now you'll have to find adjoint of A. Adjoint of A is nothing but finding all cofactors, right? Finding all cofactors. Again, you can refer my video on this entire matrix method. So it's there in the matrices and determinants playlist. Now you find all the four cofactors carefully. There's a possibility of doing mistakes here. Be careful when you find the cofactors, right? And you have to take the transpose, right? You have to reverse the rows and columns. So you'll get adjoint of A. So now you can use the formula x is equal to A inverse into B. X is nothing but xyz. What is A inverse? A inverse is adjoint of A by determinant of A. Determinant of A is 8. That's what we got here, right? So which is nothing but adjoint of A. You can write it as into 1 by determinant of A, which is nothing but adjoint of A into 1 by 8. This is the adjoint and this is matrix B. Now you multiply these two matrices and then you multiply finally with 1 by 8 like this. So you get this particular matrix. So this is nothing but x, this is y, and this is z. So these are the values of x, y, and z. Now if you want to check if the answers that you've got is correct, substitute the values of x, y, and z in this equation. In the original equation, put the value of x, y, and z. You should get this particular answer. In any equation you can put. So 3x plus y plus 2z. So we have 3x plus y plus 2z is equal to 3. This is one of the equations. So I'll put 3 as 1, y as 2, and z as minus 1. So we'll get 3 plus 2, 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. So we got the same answer. That means these values are correct. So let's look at this problem. Find the coefficient of x to the power minus 7 in this particular expression. Now we'll have to remember the term formula in binomial theorem. Term formula is TR plus 1 is equal to NCR into x to the power n minus r into a to the power r. Right? Now x is nothing but first term, a is nothing but second term. What is the first term here? Root x. What is the second term? Minus 4 by x to the power 3. Let's not forget minus. So first term is root x and second term is this one. Right? Now instead of n, what do we have? N is equal to 21. N is equal to 21. Right? So n is equal to 21. We don't know the value of r. Right? We don't know the value of r. We have to find out the value of r. And here we take the entire second term to the power r. Now when you evaluate this, so you have to be careful. Root x can be written as x to the power half. So you have root x 21 minus r. You can write it as root x can be written as x to the power half. And you already have 21 minus r. So this is going to be x to the power 21 minus r by 2. Now you have x here also, right? So, and you have r. So this will become 3 into r because this r is for this numerator also and denominator also. So it's going to be like this basically. It's going to be minus 4 to the power r by x to the power 3 into r. Right? It's nothing but minus 4 to the power r. X to the power 3 into r is 3r. So now you bring all the x terms together. All the x terms should come together, right? So here I had 21 minus r by 2 here. I had 21 minus r by 2. And here in the denominator, I'll get x to the power 3r. Now if I take this 3r here to the numerator, it will become minus 3r, right? So here it will become like this. X to the power 21 minus r by 2. Now I'll take this to the numerator. So it will become minus 3r. You have to put minus 3r to this particular x. You already have x here, correct? To this particular x, pull this 3r. Pull this 3r here to the top. So now you calculate what this is. This is very important step. You have to find this power. So here 20 minus r by 2 minus 3r is equal to, you take LCM, right, and you'll get 21 minus 7r by 2. You'll get 21 minus 7r by 2. This is 2, not 6. So 21 minus 7r by 2, and here you'll have minus 4 to the power r. The value of x, the power of x you already pulled here, right? So basically you have to get all the x values together. Now you have to find the coefficient of this. So what happens is, whatever you get here, this entire term, this entire power, we have to equate to minus 7, like this. So x to the power 21 minus 7r by 2, you equate this to x to the power minus 7, whatever is given in the question, right? Now bases are same. On both the sides you have x, which means you can equate the powers, right? You can equate the powers. So 21 minus 7r by 2 is equal to minus 7. Now if you simplify this, you'll get the value of r, right? You'll get r as 5. Now this equation that we had got, this lengthy one, this equation 1, we got the value of r, is it not? Now substitute, instead of r you put 5, that's all. Substitute r in equation 1. So tr plus 1 becomes t5 plus 1, t6. And here if you substitute, 21cr will become 21c5, right? And this anyway we know it's going to be minus 7, right? This is going to be minus 7 because we equated this entire power to minus 7. So it will be x to the power minus 7. And here you have minus 4 to the power r. What is r? 5. So minus 4 to the power 5. This one. Right? Now, what is the coefficient? Coefficient means all the numbers next to x. Now, coefficient of this we'll have to find. All the numbers next to x. So this is also a number. This is also a number. So basically, coefficient of x to the power minus 7 is minus 21c5
into 1024.
How did we get this minus? How did we get this minus? Because we got here minus 4 to the power 5. Minus 4 to the power 5. So when you have a negative number raised to a odd number, right, is going to be negative. Minus 4 into minus 4 into minus 4 into minus 4 into minus 4. It's going to be negative only, right? If you are multiplying odd number times, 5 is odd number. When you have odd number as power, and you have a negative number inside, your final answer will be negative itself. Final answer will be negative. That's why we have minus here. So this is the coefficient. Now let's look at this problem. Resolve this particular expression into partial fractions. If you look at, you have 3 factors here, right? You have square and 1, 3 factors. So we'll take a by x plus 2, b by x plus 2 the whole square, and c by x plus 4. So you're splitting it. Then you can either cross multiply or you can take the LCM, right? What is the LCM? LCM is nothing but x plus 2 the whole square into x plus 4, right? X plus 2 the whole square into x plus 4, that is the LCM. To get this as the LCM, what should you multiply this denominator with? If you multiply x plus 2 with another x plus 2 and x plus 4, then you will get this particular LCM. So you can refer partial fractions playlist, right, to get into details of this. So now you multiply this denominator with this, but actually you don't multiply the denominator. This terms you multiply with the numerator. Now, what should I multiply? This to get this as the LCM. You have x plus 2 the whole square here. So you have x plus 2 the whole square. What is left out? X plus 4. So you multiply this with x plus 4. So you'll get b into x plus 4. Now see here. You already have x plus 4 here. What is left out? X plus 2 the whole square. So that you multiply with this numerator. So c into x plus 2 the whole square. Now here both the denominators will get cancelled. You're left with this particular expression. Now you need to find the x values. So what you do? Take the opposite sign. Here you have plus 2. Take the opposite sign, which is minus 2. Now you substitute minus 2 here for all values of x. You'll get value of b. So b becomes minus 3 by 2. Now next x value you take. Here you have plus 4. Reverse the sign, minus 4. So x is minus 4. Now again you substitute minus 4 in this expression, you will get C value. That's all. I can't take any other x value. I've already taken minus 4, I have taken minus 2. But I need to find A value, right? I found B, I found C. I need to find A also. How do I find A? So now you equate the coefficients of x square. In this entire expression, take the coefficient of x square. You have x here, you have x here. X into x becomes x square, right? X into x is x square. And what is coefficient? Coefficient is number next to x square. So when you multiply these two values, you will not get any number, right? It's just going to be x square. If there's no number, it means it's 1. So coefficient of x square here is 1a. A is already there. So 1 into a. It's actually 1 into a. Now, here you don't have x square at all, right? It's only x. So this is going to be 0. 0b. B is not going to be there. Here you have x square. Because if I multiply x plus 2 into x plus 2, this x plus 2 square is nothing but x plus 2 into x plus 2. When I multiply, I'll get x square. There is no number here, so assume 1. 1 and then you have c. 1c. 1c. And here again, on the left hand side, you have to do the same thing. Is there any x square here? No. If there's nothing, put it as 0. Just put it as 0 here. So now you solve this. You know the value of c. Substitute c value, you'll get the value of a. Right? Now you split it. So whatever we got here, take this particular entire expression. Whatever we got as a, substitute a, b and c values, and that will become the partial fractions. Now next problem is related to mathematical logic. Verify whether the proposition, this particular proposition, is a contradiction. Now, what is the condition for contradiction? All the values should become false. Only if all the truth values are false, then you can call it as contradiction. So you first take P, right? Then you take Q. Put all the truth values. True and true, true and false, false and true, false and false. Now, you slowly go from left to right. Go from left to right. So we have first not Q. Let's put not Q here. Let's put not Q. What is not Q? Just reverse whatever truth values. True would become false. True would become false. False will become true. True will become false. False will become true. So this is not Q. What is next? P and not Q. P and not Q. So you and this P and not Q. These two columns you apply and operation. Right? So when it comes to and, only if both the values are true, the answer is true. So only if both the values. So now you're taking this column and this column, right? Now you have T and F. T and F is false. Only T and T is true. Everything else is false. Here F and F is false. F and T is also false. Only in cases of T and T. True and true gives you true. Now let's go to the next one. What is next one? You have to find not P. Not P. So again, not P is reverse of P. If it is T, it becomes false. If it is F, it becomes true. So reverse it, you get not P. Now what you have to do? Not P or Q. Not P or Q. Right? So you have not P here, this one and this one. Now you apply OR operation. OR means even if one value is true, the truth value is going to be true. You have to take not P or Q, this one. Right? Now, even if one value is true, output is going to be true. Here you have true, so it's going to be true. Here false and false, so it's false. Here you have true, so it's true. Here you have true, so it's true. Right? Only in case both are false, then the truth value is false. Now, what is the final step? You got this, you got this. Now you have to apply this and between these two, and between these two. So basically, you found this column, and then you found this column. Now between these two columns, you have to apply and. Now what is the condition for and? Only if both the values are true, you will get final value as true. Now see which row has both as true. Nothing as true and true. This is false and true, true and false, false and true, false and true. You don't have true and true at all anywhere, which means everything is false, right? Everything is false here. So since everything is false, you can call that this proposition is a contradiction. Now we'll look at this particular problem. An aircraft manufacturer supplies aircraft engines to different airlines. They have just completed an initial order for 30 engines involving a total of 6,000 direct labor hours at rupees 20 per hour. Now, what has happened is the aircraft manufacturer produces 30 engines and he spends 6,000 hours. 6,000 hours is spent to manufacture 30 engines and cost for each hour is 20 rupees. Now, they have been asked to increase the supply to 90 engines. Now, they have produced 30 engines, they have to increase it to 90 engines. Now, we'll have to apply 80% learning effect and then you have to estimate the total cost, right? Now, to get the total cost, you have to first find the total hours required to produce 90 engines when the learning effect is 80%. So, again, you first put the units, you start with first unit, first lot, you assume that first lot is 30 engines, right? So 30 engines is already told it's going to be 6,000 hours. So 6,000 hours, right? So total hours is 6,000 into lot. 6,000 into lot is one lot here. So it's 6,000. Now come to second row. You copy this one that has been put here, copy it here. One. And then add both of this. This one that has come here, copy it here and add both of this. So it'll be 1 plus 1, 2 lots. So now you put 80% of learning effect on which one? 6,000. Because first lot, that is first 30 engines, it took 6,000 hours. Now second time when you produce, he'll do it faster. He'll do it faster because first time if he has taken 6,000 hours, second time if you have to do the same thing, obviously you will become faster. So the learning effect is 80%. That means first time if you put 100% effort, second time you just need to put 80% effort. With 80% effort, you will get the lot, right? So 80% of 6,000 is 4,800. You see that the time taken second time is less, 4,800. So it keeps on reducing because every time you get more experience, the speed of manufacturing the engines will increase. Now what you will do here, how do you find the total hours? This 4,800 is to produce one lot, right? Now you have two lots here. So you multiply with two lots. So you get 9,600. Now we'll go to third row. See, we have to finally come to 90, right? Now two lots means it is first lot is 30 engines, two lots is 60 engine. Now what you'll do, you'll take this 2 and just copy it here, then add it. Copy this 2 as is and add it. 2 plus 2 will become 4. 4 lots. 4 lots. 4 lots is nothing but 120. Right? 1 lot is 30. 2 lot is 60. 4 lots. 4 lots is 4 times 30 engines. That is 120 engines. Again, you put 80% learning effect. So you have to take the previous value, which is 4,800. So you'll put 80% effort from the previous effort. So 80% of 4,800 is 3,840. 3,840. So now you see, to produce the lot third time, you will only take 3,840 hours. And how many lots? How many lots? 4 lots. So you multiply by 4 and you'll get this total hours. So total hours to produce 120 engines or 4 lots is 15,360 hours. Now, do we need 120 engines? The ask is only 90 engine. So what you will do? You will reduce 30 engines, right? 120 minus 30. So you will reduce effort of 30 engines. What is the effort of 30 engines? 6,000. So from this 15,360, you will subtract 6,000, which is the cost, which is the time taken to produce 30 engine, right? So you'll get, this is the final hours. Now you need to find the labor cost. What is the cost per hour? 20 rupees. So take this total number of hours into 20 rupees will give you 1,87,200 rupees. So this is the final labor cost to produce 90 engines. Now we look at this LPP problem. Solve the LPP graphically, maximize. This is the objective function. Here are the constraints, right? You have two constraints given here. So you take the first constraint, 4x plus 2y less than or equal to 20. You first start with x is equal to 0. Put x is equal to 0, you get the y value. So you get, this is nothing but x and y coordinate. So x is 0, y is 10. Now we put y is equal to 0, right? You'll get the x value. Put y is equal to 0 here, you'll get the x value, and you'll get this xy coordinate. So you call this as A and this is called as B. Now similarly take the second constraint, this one. Same thing, put x is equal to 0 first and you'll get the coordinate. Put y is equal to 0 second time and you'll get the coordinate. Name it as C and D. Now you first plot A and B points. So this is point A, this is point B, here you have point C and D. Join A and B, join C and D, you get two lines. Now they will intersect at some point. Find that intersecting point in the graph. So it will be somewhere around 3.25 to 3.5. This is going to be the intersecting point. Now you'll have to find the feasible region or the overlapping region. What is the overlapping region? You have to find the region where both of these lines overlap, right? So now this is one line, this is one line. It's overlapping here, right? If you see, it will overlap like this. Now, what are the points? You have point C, origin, which is 0, 0. Then you have point B. Then you have this intersecting point. So COBE. COBE is the feasible region, right? COBE or CEBO, right? This is the feasible region. Now you take the objective function. What is the objective function? The one that is given with Z. Now you take each of these points, CEBO, right? You know the points. C point, C, B, O is always origin 0, 0 and intersecting point E. Take all of these points, C, E, B, O, substitute each of these coordinates in this particular objective function and you'll get the value. Now we have to maximize. That means we have to find the maximum value. So what is the maximum value here? 47.5. That is point E. So the optimal solution, optimal or the best solution is 47.5, which is when x is equal to 3.25 and y is equal to 3.5. This is the final answer. Now the next one, prove that this particular expression is equal to tan 3a. So you'll take this as LHS, you'll take this as RHS. Here you'll have to use transformation formulae, right? You can refer compound angles playlist. There is a video on transformation formulae related problems. So refer that playlist. Here again, so you'll have to use all transformation and compound angle formula. So here sine 5a plus sine a. So use this formulas. These are the two formulas we'll have to use. Here you have sine and sine, here you have cos and cos. So sine a plus sine b is 2 sine a plus b by 2 into cos a minus b by 2. And then you have to use cos based formulas also, cos and cos. Now using these two formulas, all you have to do is substitute a and b. Instead of a we have 5a, instead of b we have a. So it will become 5a plus a by 2, which is nothing but 6a by 2, which is nothing but 3a. So this is how you get sine 3a. Similarly cos 2a and all of this. See, once you substitute, this cos 2a and cos a will get cancelled. You are left with sine 3a by cos 3a, which is tan 3a. This is nothing but equal to RHS. Therefore, it's proved. Now, next one, find the equation of the circle passing through the points. So 3 points are given. You have to find the equation of the circle. First, you have to write the general equation of the circle. What is the general equation of circle? X square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2f5 plus c is equal to 0. This is the general equation. Now you take this point, first point 1, 1. Instead of x and y, put this 1 and 1. Right? Leave g and f as is, c also as is. So you'll get one expression. Call this as equation 1. Now you go to second point, minus 2 and 2. Substitute minus 2 and 2 for x and y. Leave g, f and c. You'll get the second expression. Similarly for third point, which is minus 6 and 0. You'll get third expression. Now you can take any of these equations. Take 1 and 2. Right? Try to solve it. You can multiply this entire expression by 2. If you multiply this entire expression by 2, you'll get 4f, right? 4f. And here you already have 4f. So you can subtract both these expressions like this. You multiply this entire expression with 2 and subtract the whole expression. 4f and 4f will get cancelled. And you're left with this expression with g and c. F will get cancelled. Now again you can repeat the same thing. So we took first two expressions. Now we'll take third and this fourth one. Third and fourth one. Third and fourth one. You'll get value of g. Here you can directly cancel because here there is plus c, here there is plus c. Subtract the entire expression, it will become c minus c, which is 0. So you'll get the value of g. Now you've got value of g. Put this value of g in this expression 4. You can put it in any expression. Either you can put it in expression 4 or in equation 3. Anything. You put the value of g, you will get value of c. Right? So now you know the value of g, you know the value of c. You have to find the value of f. You can take any expression, right? Any expression, 1, 2 or 3. Because you know the value of g, you know the value of c, you can find the value of f. Anything you can take here, any equation. So now you'll get the value of f. Now put all these g, f, c in general equation of circle. In the general equation, just put g, f and c, and that becomes the final equation of circle. Now there is a video on problems related to equation of circles. Right? There are multiple problems, different types of problems solved on equations of circles and circles itself. Right? There is one short video on circles and there is another video on just equation of circles. Problems similar to this, where you have to find equation of circle given points or axis or coordinates. Now next problem. Evaluate this limits problem. So first step you substitute value of 3. Put x as 3 here. You will get 0 by 0. If you get 0 by 0, it's indeterminate. So now you have to find different way of solving it. Here, whenever there is square root, clue is rationalize the denominator. Rationalize means you multiply numerator and denominator with this denominator, but with opposite sign. Here you have minus. So you take this entire expression, put reverse the sign, instead of minus you put plus, and multiply both numerator and denominator with this. Now you solve this, right? So here at one point you will get x square minus 9. This x square minus 9 can be written as x plus 3 into x minus 3, right? It's of the formula a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So here you have x square minus 9, which is nothing but x square minus 3 square, which is x plus 3 into x minus 3. So you can write it this way. Here again, here you can take common factor, right? When you solve, you'll get 2x plus 3. Take 2 as common. Take 2 as common, so you'll get x minus 3. Both of this will get cancelled. Finally, take this x value and put 3. Instead of x, put 3. Instead of x, you put 3. So you'll get minus 24 as the answer. So now let's look at party related problems. The first one is heights and distances problem. The observer from the top of a cliff observes from the top of a cliff. So you assume that this is the cliff. Right? From the top of the cliff, the observer observes the angles of depression of two boats. Depression means he is looking downwards, right? Whenever there is depression, it means he is looking downwards. And there are two boats. Let's say boat B and boat C. They are on the same vertical plane. That is, they are on the same vertical line. And the angles of depression is 30 and 40. So from this point, he is looking at the boat, which means he is looking downwards. The angle, right, it's 30 and 40. So you assume that this is the horizontal line. This is the point of observation. He is observing it from here. Okay. From this line, you take 30 degree to this particular boat and 45 degree to this particular boat. Right? Now, the distance between the boats is 100 meters. The distance between these two boats is 100 meters. You have to find the height of the cliff, this height. Now, we'll have to use alternate angle concept in trigonometry, right? If this is 30 degree, the alternate side, the alternate angle is also 30 degree. So here you have 45 degree. So alternate angle is also 45 degree here. So now you know this angle is 40, this angle is 30. So now you'll take tan formulas. So you'll first take, say, tan 45. What is tan 45? Opposite side by adjacent side. What is opposite side? AD. AD. What is adjacent side? AB. AD by AB. You assume that AD is H. You need to find this height, H. AB. And tan 45 is 1. Tan 45 is 1. So H by AB is 1, which means H is equal to AB. So basically height is equal to AB, right? This height is equal to AB. Now you look at second one, tan 30. This one, tan 30. Tan 30 is again opposite side. What is opposite side to this angle? This one, AD. Nothing but H. AD by adjacent side. What is adjacent side? AC. This entire thing, right? For this angle, this is the adjacent side, AC. AD by AC. What is AD? AD is H. What is AC? AC is nothing but AB plus BC. We can write AC as AB plus BC. AB is nothing but H, right? Substitute H here, right? H. AB is nothing but H. BC, they've given distance is 100 meters, right? So H plus 100. And what is tan 30? It's 1 by root 3. So 1 by root 3 is H by H plus 100. Now, we'll have to just solve this and find out the value of H. This value we'll have to find by simplifying this, right? You simplify this and you will get this particular expression. So you'll get H is equal to 100 by root 3 minus 1. Now, you'll get this. You can rationalize. So whenever there is a square root in the denominator, you can rationalize. What is rationalize? Take this denominator expression, multiply and divide numerator and denominator, right? Multiply both the places, numerator and denominator, with the same equation but with reverse sign. You have minus here, you put plus. So you multiply and you will get this as the answer. So height is 50 into root 3 plus 1. Now let's look at next problem. Now this is nothing but double differentiation, right? Second order differentiation. Second order differentiation, because you're seeing y2 here. So it's second order differentiation. So you have to differentiate 2 times. So take this expression. Now you have power m. So whenever we have power m, we have to eliminate it, remove that power. How do we remove power? Only by applying logarithm. When you apply logarithm on both sides, this will become log y and this power will come here. It will become m log this entire expression. Again, now there is a playlist on differential calculus. You can go through this playlist on differential calculus for more understanding. Now, once you have removed the power, now you will differentiate on both sides. So log y, what is derivative of log y? 1 by y. And you will have to always put dy by dx because you are differentiating with respect to x. So it's dy by dx. And m is a constant. What is log of derivative of log? It's always 1 by x. Now, but instead of x, we have this entire portion. So you put 1 by this entire expression. Now using chain rule, you have to use chain rule and continuously find the derivative. Derivative of x is 1. Derivative of root of x square plus 1. Right? What is derivative of root x? It is nothing but 1 by 2 root x. But instead of x, you have x square plus 1. Now again you continue. What is derivative of x square? 2x. Right? So using chain rule, you differentiate. So you will see that this entire expression will get cancelled. So when you take LCM here, you will see that numerator and denominator will get cancelled. You are left with this expression. Now you try to get the value of y1, right? First order derivative, right? Simplify in such a way that you get value of y1. Now you differentiate again because you have to get ultimately second order derivative. So when you differentiate, here you have 2 terms, right? So when you're differentiating, it's better you differentiate this particular expression. You have 2 terms, so use product rule, right? So y1 into derivative of the second one. So derivative of root of x square plus 1 is 1 by 2 root x square plus 1. So derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x. Instead of x, you have x square plus 1. And derivative of x square is 2x. Then, now following the product rule, you take this particular expression, find the derivative of y1, which is y2. Right? Now you take LCM here, you will get this entire expression. Now you notice you have y1 here. Instead of y1, you can substitute this one. This one. By x square plus 1. Substitute. Denominators will get cancelled. Rearrange the terms. You'll get the final statement. And you'll get the proof. We'll go to the next problem. The total revenue R and the total cost C function of a company are given by R of Q is equal to 300Q minus Q square. And cost function is given. Revenue function is given. Find the equilibrium output. Now, what is the equilibrium output? When marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. this one. This is the equilibrium output. And marginal revenue is marginal cost. What is marginal revenue? You have to differentiate revenue with respect to units. What is the units here? Q. Q is the number of units, right? So differentiate revenue with respect to units. That is marginal revenue. So you have, this is the revenue function. Differentiate this revenue function. So you will get 300Q will become 300. Q square will become 2Q. So this is the marginal revenue. Now similarly find marginal cost. Differentiate cost function. This is the cost function. 20 plus 4Q with respect to units, which is Q. When you differentiate this, you will get 4. Now both of them you equate, because equilibrium output is when marginal revenue is marginal cost. So this one should be equal to this one, and then you'll obtain the value of Q. Q is nothing but units, total number of units. So basically what it means is you will reach an equilibrium, right? You will reach an equilibrium when the number of units is 148. So when you produce 148 units, that's when you will reach equilibrium state. That is, you will see that the revenue and the cost are going to be equal. So with this, we've come to the end of this particular model question paper. So if you've liked this video, do press a like and share it. Thank you.